Good evening. I'd like to talk to you today about 5 articles which I am going to critique on drama education. The first article is about using drama as a nutritional education tool in schools. This involved 2 stages where one was educational classes as per normal. The other was a drama class after school. It was for 9-year-olds. The 9-year-olds are empowered to make up their own script, make up their own characters around the healthy eating. They performed a play in front of their peers, and the results were quantified by checking the amount of junk food that was in the school canteen before the children performed the play and after, and it was found that there was a minor reduction in the volumes of what we consider junk food to be at. The material that was taught to the children and the lesson plans weren't actually in the report, which is something that to repeat what was laid out in this report, in this article, would make it hard to achieve. It did empower the children to embrace their own learning, and it showed that it was a good teaching style, as it did have a positive result in the end. It changed the behaviours of the children's eating, and it gave the audience that was there a chance to take in the information and critically analyse what was being laid out to them. The second article that I looked at was about using drama for school-based adolescence sexuality education in Zaire and Nigeria. So this was basically about teaching young girls of about 13, 14, 15, 16 about what was acceptable behaviour of sexual behaviour for men and women in their society. And the way it did this was it had 3 classes where they educated the girls on about safe sex, and then they got the girls same idea as the first article to script and write a play. The girls came up with a scenario that had the first scene, which stopped at a point to give the audience a chance to have a discussion about what the character should do next, and then the play continued on, and the audience were given the chance to discuss and debate what the scenarios or the correct course of action would be. This shows that it's peer education also, and it attempts to change the behaviours of the cast of the play, as in that they were able to talk about a taboo subject in their society compared to those in the audience who weren't particularly participants. It showed it was an effective teaching strategy, as the women involved engaged well with the project, but once again the lesson plans for what was being taught was not within the article, so it's open to bias from the teacher who was giving out the program. But it did empower the girls in the classroom to learn about sexual education and to talk about a taboo subject. The third article is about theatre and pedagogy using drama in mental health nurse education. So this is about using role playing to teach mental health nurses how to deal with challenging situations. So it basically came up with scenarios and got the participants, the nurse students, to act these out, and then gave the class group a chance to look at, critically analyse how they dealt with the situations and the alternatives. The scenarios were given in the article, so this would be more applicable than the other. It also sounded a lot of strong emotions could come up in the scenarios that were given. So, and this allowed the student nurses to empathise with service users and the staff that could be dealing with in their job. and have a positive regard for the service users. It educated their peers from them acting out the play and seeing the different points of view, and there was audience participation in the debate afterwards, and this was a way of empowering the student nurses to see the different points of view of these work situations. The fourth article which I looked at was perceptions about drama before and after drama in education. So drama in education is a way of allowing students to learn drama, where they come up with their own characters, their own scripts, and make a kind of an ulterior world where they're allowed to live in. It's facilitated by a teacher, and it's a very structured program compared to the lesson plans that were given out in these other articles. This one was much more structured and detailed as to what information was being transferred to the students. The way in which that it was quantified, whether or not it was useful exercise, was it asked those involved in the drama, which was young children in third grade, what was their perception of drama beforehand, and quantified this. They found that their idea of drama was about role plays, but after they completed the study and repeated the survey, they found that drama was the children understood drama to be an improvement, a way of improving their communication skills. There was a lack of quantitative data around this, which leaves this article open to criticisms. The final article which I was going to critique for you was from a conference in drama education and improvisation as a resource of teacher students' creativity. So this is about how the possibility of teaching, how you can teach student teachers to teach creatively. So the methods that were used here, this was more of a kind of a vague outline of why you should teach teachers to teach creatively. The beginning of the article was extremely vague in that it talked about the history of drama before actually getting into what the title of the essay was about, or the article was about. It wanted teachers to move away from scripted teaching and teach them how to be creative, and it said that the best way to do this was to build the confidence of the teacher, so that they felt comfortable to move away from scripted teaching. There was nearly no quantitative data with this, and it was more the author was making the point of how this could be done rather than how it would be done or was done. It didn't give very much quantitative data. It showed an effective teaching strategy, but an unproven one. It did show how education can be done through drama, but it didn't give the figures of or real hard data of how it was done, and it had the potential to change the behaviours of the teachers involved as they moved from a scripted to an unscripted method of teaching. Thank you very much for listening to my critique in Middleton 4th year.